fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome in, everybody, to a wonderful Wednesday. We are less than a week away from legal tampering, free agency, whatever you want to call it. A bevy of moves happening today. You know, teams kind of tweaking their lineups right before free agency. Somebody like Stephon Diggs officially got released today.
Right.
Some of the other names that have already kind of been known, some of them got officially released today. So, yeah, teams are setting themselves up for Monday, the legal tampering.
Yeah, legal tampering.
Dumbest phrase ever. And then Wednesday, by the time we come on air, Wednesday, we will be officially in free agency.
Yeah, the 2026 league year will have begun.
Yeah. And generally speaking, we'll have known a lot about the deals that have already been agreed to, and they'll be official by the time we come on air, hopefully. But we'll recap kind of all of the moves around the league and obviously Eagle-centric. But before we get to that show, we got to do this show.
Yep.
And this show is all about what to expect in free agency, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot of free agents that, unfortunately, the Eagles have 20 free agents. Oh, all right, you good?
Yeah. Jody, I think, forgot that I have a show tonight and tried to call me.
Don't you love that?
Yeah.
I love that. So the Eagles have 20 free agents, so you would hope that they're either going to re-sign some guys or bring in some guys off the street. But the problem is right now, the Eagles don't have a lot of money.
No.
And even with the salary cap going up, they have what? 13, 14, 15 million, somewhere in that range. I don't know it off the top of my head. I apologize, but.
Right.
But Howie is a guy
He's a wizard.
He finds money.
Yeah.
Whether it's extending, the likes of a Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis or
right.
Nolan Smith. There's certainly some names out there on the squad that, will help. Another name that I think also will help is Dallas Goedert. Not sure if you've heard this, but, he's due for again, if he does not re-sign with the Eagles, he's due for a $20 million dead cap hit due to the contract, previous contract. So it behooved them to re-sign Dallas Goedert, which, I wouldn't have a problem with.
I mean, I feel like just from an X's and O's standpoint, it makes sense to re-sign Dallas Goedert. And then from the money standpoint, it makes even more sense.
Yeah. Hertzko checking in. I'm AJ fatigued. Yeah, listen, unfortunately, the media, and I'm, this is a broad spectrum, nationally, locally, your other podcasts. And again, even on this network, it's certainly something that we do talk about, but I think at least from my perspective and from the others on the network, I feel like we're also kind of in that boat of just a little bit sick of it. I personally think a lot of this is media driven.
I think it's almost 100% media driven.
Yeah. I mean,
almost
from what I've heard from people that, do spend time in the locker room is that AJ's loved by teammates, by coaches, by management. So there's not really a want to get him out of town. And to be perfectly honest, I don't buy the AJ Brown requesting multiple trade requests throughout the last season.
Nah, I don't buy it either.
I don't buy it either. And if I see one more Diana Rossini, report, tweet, whatever about AJ Brown, I'm going to lose my absolutely ever-loving mind.
Yeah, I mean, I came close to blocking just because I didn't want to see it anymore.
It's like pathetic at this point. But in true Howie fashion, I think it and I think Howie kind of takes this like, hey, listen, nobody's off limits. I'm not going to shut that door just because, again, I may like a player or he might be a great player. If there's a way to improve the team, yeah, obviously.
And, reporters will take that. They'll go to Howie Roseman and say, oh, would you consider trading Howie or would you consider trading AJ Brown if the right offer came along? And of course, well, I mean, sure, the right offer comes along and
Right.
nobody's
And they
off the
write
table.
looking
And
it
then,
off.
Eagles are shopping AJ
Right.
Brown.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I think they're looking for a blow me out of the water type deal.
Right.
First plus.
Right. And whereas other teams are thinking, hey, maybe we could get AJ on a discount.
Absolutely.
Look, you're clearly on two different ends of the spectrum here. The Eagles are looking to get more than maximum value.
Right. And also, other teams don't know Howie because that don't happen, Howie. So, yeah, listen.
I'm pretty sure the Tennessee Titans and Minnesota Vikings have blocked any 215 number calls.
Maybe New Orleans, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I think it's just silly. And listen, it may end up happening. Some team may,
Sure, but it's going to take an awful. It's going to take
whatever. And that might be enough to get it done. But, we'd have to worry about that cap hit. Obviously, Hurts, GOAT here is listing out a few things. Yeah, like I said, extensions for Davis and Carter. Cutting Michael Carter, that should certainly save some good amount of money. Yeah, other extensions for sure are on the table. Potentially, maybe Hurts. I don't know. Other players, you never know. And you also have to think about the eventual extensions for our two corners.
Right.
So combine that with the fact that we have, Reed Blankenship, we have Nakobe Dean, we have Jalen Phillips, as free agents. You have a bunch of other names throughout. There's going to be some tough decisions. And even if Howie's able to create, $30 more million somehow, still you have to get players in here and you're going to have to replace 20 players essentially.
Sure.
So it's going to be tough. Howie's got his work cut out, and obviously in conjunction with free agency, we have the draft, and certainly they have a bunch of picks. They have 4 in the first 3 rounds, which is great. We were just talking about tight ends last night on the Birds of the Roundtable.
Which this past weekend, the Combine, man, do I love me some Kenyon City.
Yeah, no, he definitely is nice.
Yeah.
The other 2 gentlemen on the show weren't as high as on Sadiq.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's mostly.
I'm hoping other NFL scouts see it that way too.
Sure. I mean, I think it's it's tough, especially when it comes to offense right now. We have this idea of what an Eagles tight end needs to look like, or an Eagles tackle or guard or whatever, wide receiver, you name it. But and we could be told A, B, C, and D about what this Eagles offense is going to look like. But we really have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
No.
We can guess. We can say, hey, Mannion comes from this tree and has ran these offenses, but this
really he's been sort
under
of
other people.
Yeah, he's been under other people. We don't really know what he likes, what his belief value is.
He may be like Lester.
Yeah.
I know y'all were thinking, this kind of, I want to kind of run this.
And I want to spread the ball out, and I want to go 5 wide, and I want to spread them out.
Right. Yeah.
Running gun and.
Sure.
And people will lose their minds.
Probably. But so, yeah, I think it'll be telling.
Sure.
In the free agents that they go and sign, and eventually the draft players that they will draft. those will give you the idea of kind of, again, if you're going after a specific type, you can be like, oh, well, that kind of confirms he's going to be doing this and this and whatever. Right now, we don't really know that. But looking at the landscape, looking at the offensive line, what's right now doesn't have to be the number one, but what's one out of your top 5 positions that you need the Eagles to address? And not just grab a guy, but go out there and get somebody of value.
Look, I look at the tight end position, like, we gotta keep Dallas Goedert. Like, I look at that as, like, that you gotta keep him because we need a tight end. We don't have any tight ends under contract right now.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, Latu is listed as a tight end, but he was obviously a fullback.
Yeah.
But he's it. You don't have Kylan Granson, you don't have Grant Calcaterra,
Yeah.
and Dallas Goedert. And listen, as much as I think most fans are in favor of, hey, love Dallas Goedert, let's bring him back. Love the dude. He's been on this squad for forever. We don't know if that's necessarily a fit.
We don't know.
And
And really, only Sean Mannion and you'd like to think Nick Sirianni know for sure.
yeah, and moving kind of forward in that, you also allowed him to hit free agency. You know, who's to say that some team isn't going to throw a bag at him? And he's going to be like, listen, I was kind of hoping to sign with you guys, but dude is offering me way more money. I gotta go with them.
And if you're, say, the Washington Commanders, if you're, the Dallas Cowboys, or even go out as like the Rams or the Bears, well, maybe not the Bears because the Bears already have their tight ends, but, and really so do the Rams. But like, if you're a team competing with the Eagles in this conference, aren't you going to try to do everything you can to at least make it more difficult for the Eagles to
Well,
re-sign Goddard?
well, and the fact of the matter is, you have that $20 million cap hit or dead money cap hit
Yeah.
that you know as an added bonus to the Dallases, the Washingtons, whatever, to be like, hey, listen, not only do we get a tight end, but we get to screw the Eagles, but we
kind of cripple them a little.
we got to twist the knife a little bit with that 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I don't see how Dallas or hell anybody in our division isn't going after Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, the Giants, like, why wouldn't they? Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, I think in an ideal world, you would love to be able to bring back Dallas on a 1 year, maybe 2 year, whatever, but also grab somebody early in the draft. And, those are your two, because again, you would hope, I think most people appreciate a 12 personnel, 2 tight end
Yes.
sets.
No, I do. Yeah.
And, again, you have Dallas, who, let's be honest, dipped a little bit in his blocking ability last year, and you let's just say we talked about a man like Sadiq. Well, he needs to improve his blocking. And I think that's why a lot of people are, especially the gentleman from, Dives and David from Birds of the Round Table last night, while they, I believe both of them had him number 1, or maybe David had him number 2. It was essentially the blocking, like, and the fact that he really wasn't asked to do it a lot. So
Sure.
there's some confusion as to, how well he truly can do it.
And to me, it's not only can he, does he want to?
Well, sure, yeah.
Run blocking,
like,
especially as a tight end, you gotta want to.
Yeah, when you read up a scouting report and when you're, again, looking at film on a player, and I think especially for somebody like a tight end who, all right, yeah, you can easily see the offensive skills, the pass catching, the route running, et cetera. But, the blocking aspect of it is a little bit harder to kind of really pinpoint. And that willingness is such a key, and you will hear that word.
Yes.
Willingness, the willingness to block, to get dirty, to get in there, to get
And to me, like, when I look at tight ends and I look at wide receivers, Like those two positions in particular, because they're really glory positions where you're asked to go out and catch a lot of passes and the ball's getting thrown in your direction a ton. When the ball's not being thrown your way,
What are you doing, Alpha?
yes. Are you still a we guy or are you a me guy in those spots?
No. I mean,
Like
you look at somebody like George Kittle, whether you like him or not. He is consistently regarded as one of the better tight ends in this league
mhm, mhm.
because he is well-rounded and can block, and not only can, wants to block.
Right. In fact,
The block.
if I guarantee you, if you were to sit down with him and just say, "Hey, George Kittle, what are some of your favorite plays throughout your career?" I almost guarantee you it would. I mean, I'm sure
It
like
would
some of the
half of them would probably be blocking
yeah,
plays.
yeah,
On
plays
time
where
I
he
blocked
blocked the
down with
crap out of
yeah,
somebody.
exactly.
Yeah,
The time I got
yeah,
on one over on,
yeah.
whoever.
Like I'm sure like a play against the Eagles where like he lit up Darius Slay or something like that on a block. Like I'm sure he absolutely loved doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. A Hertz goat chiming in again. Do you guys think Howie trades back in the draft? Yeah, that's a great question. I think we've always seen Howie as somebody that's not afraid to move.
Yeah.
And
I almost guarantee he's not gonna
well,
pick at
right, but
23.
we've seen him move up and grab a guy that he wants. And again, when you look at this year's draft class, and as we get closer, we sort of kind of things start to get a little bit clearer, right? Right now,
Mhm.
all right, yeah, like it's getting there, but like we get to like a week or two before the draft, you really know, all right,
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of
these
yeah.
guys are going to be right in that area. Eagles have
Mhm.
these needs. These are the guys that we could see, going after. Right now,
Yeah.
people are moving
There'll
up,
be like 5 or 6 guys where they'll be like, "Okay, if any one of these guys"
are in the
and
area.
say we get to like 19 or 20 and there's only 2 of those guys left,
Go
that's
up,
where you might see the Eagles say, "Alright, we're gonna go get one."
right? Yeah. So yes, for that, and again, I think you have to throw in an offensive tackle. You have to throw in any interior guys, Sadiq being one of them. Edge players, as they always
Look,
want.
the Eagles love edge players, and man, there are a lot to go around in this
And
year's draft.
also, again, I think this is pretty popular early on in the drafts, but one of those top 3 corners. I love personally to grab one of them because then you basically are set for the next 10 years, hopefully, with corners,
Oh god, yeah, right?
right?
You
Like that
got
would be
Q and you got like a say a McCoy or yeah.
and if Makuba materializes, all you gotta do is go either re-sign Reed, which is perfectly fine, or you
Yeah.
go out and get another guy, and your defensive back
Your defensive back is
set.
I mean, and look, when you can sit there and say, okay, that position group is set.
Right.
Like we know where we're at for the next 10 years
That's 5
with those 4
players that
guys.
you're set on.
Yeah, with those 5, yeah.
That's almost half your defense. That being said, if I had to choose one or the other of what I think Howie might do, I could see him going back more so than any recent years. Just because I feel like, again, you have 20 free agents you're having to replace, essentially. You have some early picks, so you have the options. So I could easily see them bopping down to, late first round, grabbing an extra pick, and then having that versatility to be like, all right, hey, listen, we still get a great guy at 31 or whatever. And now, we could use that extra second with our own and jump up and grab one of those guys that fell out of the first round. But and you're getting another quality player. And the way how he's hitting on these day 1, day 2 picks, the more you get, I think the more I'm okay with because
Right.
he's hit on
And the more
a good
shots at the apple too. Like, I mean, if you can move back some and you get more picks, that's more opportunities to hit on one of those
Right. I
players.
mean, think about it. You trade back end of the first, you grab
Mhm.
I'm just throwing it out there. The dude from Iowa that everybody loves with the mullet. Maybe you grab
Yeah.
him to be your right guard and you grab an extra second. You have 2 second rounders. and, whatever, maybe you keep both of them and you grab the best tackle available, one guy that is going to sit, learn under the lane, and then maybe you go ahead and get, a corner or a safety or an edge player. However you see it, or maybe you did make that AJ Brown trade, and maybe you go ahead and draft a wide receiver. So it gives you these, this versatility. I think more so in many years, previous, that I think moving back might be the way to go. And quite honestly,
Well, I'm always a fan of moving back.
yeah, but I think, that next year's draft is going to be higher a value than this year's draft overall.
So I had a thought about this year's draft as compared to a lot of recent drafts. I feel like this draft is the perfect kind of draft for teams like the Eagles, teams that are on the cusp of doing something good. And like not necessarily for like the teams like the Raiders or the Cardinals who are trying to rebuild. Like I feel like there are a lot of great complementary pieces, not necessarily those faces of the franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Franchise
Yeah.
players, studs. Don't
Right.
get me wrong. There definitely are some in the
Sure,
round,
sure.
as there always will be. But, when you look at, let's just look at the tight end position. Kenyon Sadiq, clear cut number one right now, right?
Sure.
For most people's boards. Going to be drafted in the middle, middle of the round to.
Yeah. Middle to the end. Yeah. I've seen some scenarios where he was
But
as late as San
you put
Francisco.
him.
Yeah.
Let's compile all of the tight
Hmm.
ends over the last 3 years. You have Bowers, you have Tyler Warren, you have Loveland, you have my boy who wasn't a first round pick but still did awesome, Harold Fanning. You have these guys.
Would you put Sadiq behind all of those guys? I kind of feel like I would.
I
Yeah.
feel like most.
And I love Sadiq. You
Yeah,
heard me
yeah,
at the top of the
you
show
clearly,
saying I
yeah,
wanted
right,
Sadiq.
and I do
Yeah.
too. And
But
I
yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
again, he's got clear cut receiving studness to him.
Uh-huh.
It's the other little parts about his game, and there's question marks on it, which again is here or there, but the willingness, the technique, the fact that he wasn't asked to do it a lot. If he goes to the right situation, that'll be fine, but maybe he
Sure.
doesn't. Maybe
And how coachable is he?
right,
Like,
exactly.
if he gets in a spot where they're like, hey, look, man, you can play at this level, you're going to have to block. How willing is he to go do that?
Right.
And we're going to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it's important to kind of, when you look at a guy that's clear cut, that's, you look at kind of previous drafts and be like, oh, where would he fit? And that kind of gives you an idea of the class
Right.
overall. It definitely is not a strong tight end class. There are dudes that I would absolutely love day 2, day 3.
Sure.
Absolutely. And I'm the type that I would sign Dallas Goedert. I would, go ahead and draft Sadiq, and I'd also draft a dude in the 4th or 5th. Like,
Sure.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Whatever. Roll out 3 tight ends.
Well, and again,
And you
Goddard
need
is
to fill out
be
that
here
depth
for
chart. Yeah.
Goddard's only going to be here for a year or 2 if we resign
Right.
him. So I'm looking at the next stage, and you know me, I have been screaming for tight end 2.
Last year, you and I pounding the table for JT Sanders.
I do. Yeah, that was 2 years ago, but yeah.
Or 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was all over Harold Fanning.
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember your
There were
Harold
not a lot of
Fanning
people that were high on Fanning. In fact, I may have been the highest on him in the country. I'm just saying.
You might have been.
I'm just saying. And what happened? Stud. So now I haven't found that guy yet in the tight end club,
Right.
but I am gushing over. I'm still diving in. I'm still looking at tape. I'm reading reports. I'm looking at interviews. I do it all. It's unfortunately, I have learned to hone in on my obsessiveness. And now, granted, I used to do this with linebackers too, but I feel like I don't need to do that much anymore.
I know.
So we have great linebackers.
I know. And that's the thing. If we get another corner in the first round, like, I'm going to feel like I'm allowed to get off corners for a while.
And the worst part is we're about to lose a linebacker in the Kobe
I know.
The only way that
I feel like that's why they coveted so
well,
much
yeah, I
Jahad
mean, well,
Campbell.
no, I mean, listen, they covered their ass because of the injuries, and it was a pleasant
That's what they
surprise
really liked Campbell.
that he came, that he came back the way he did. I just hate the fact that he's such a leader. He,
Sure.
he especially to those Georgia dogs. Yeah, I just and him in the run game is so crucial.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely not Campbell's strong suit. He's more of a coverage linebacker
Mm-hmm.
or a guy that can rush. So I worry about that for sure. But if for whatever reason teams are shy about Nakobe and the injury history and yada 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 yada,
Yeah.
I would love to bring him back on a cheap deal,
Sure.
2 years, 3 years, whatever. I'm fine with that.
I mean, depending on what it's like when he tests free agency, he might come back to the Eagles and say, "Hey, look, I'll sign a 1-year prove it deal here to prove to everybody I'll stay healthy for 17 games. And, at the end of that time, if you guys like me, you get first dibs at trying to re-sign me. And if you don't, I will have shown everybody I can stay healthy and I can play at this level, and he can hit the market in a year."
I just doubt that even if Nakobe comes crawling back, essentially, that they would bring him back. And it has nothing to do with Nakobe itself. It's the fact that there is no room for him without stunting the growth of Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles are going to value the growth of Jahad
I
Campbell
agree.
way
I
more.
agree.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
again, you're also one
And I almost don't even blame them
you're
for
also
it. Yeah,
one, a little injury away from, Nakobe being gone forever.
sure.
Now, I will say, I know I haven't actually heard any real reports, but it's a lot of, connecting the dots with, our the new DC in Dallas coming, from the Birds, that,
Mhm.
Nakobe would want to go there. That would break my heart. That would absolutely break my heart.
Yes, I would be upset by that.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, listen, we're gonna discuss all the moves for free agency next week. Like I said, as we go live, we will be about an hour into free agency officially. We will have had a couple of days of legal tampering to go over
It's so
deals and,
funny.
know
Yeah.
exactly what's going to be happening. So we'll keep
So when's that start? Saturday?
Monday.
Okay. Legal tampering doesn't start till Monday.
Yeah, it's 2 days of tampering.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. I was really hoping because I know we're planning on hanging out on Saturday. That'd be great to
Yeah,
sit there and talk about that on
that
Saturday
would be
night.
nice, right?
Sure, Jody would love that,
Oh, I'm sure she would, but
as Jess would too.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks, listen, that is it for us tonight. We appreciate you chiming in, hanging out with us. Hertz Goat, appreciate you with the questions. Always appreciate that. Listen, if you are already not following Eagles Pinball Network, whether it be on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, I'm pretty sure we have a TikTok, Instagram coming soon. Please make sure you do. All of that means the world to us, and pushing it out to your friends and be like, hey, listen, give these guys a follow. They're cool. Bunch of shows. Talk about birds all the time. So we appreciate those who do support. We will see you guys next Wednesday at about 5:00. Eric, got anything to add before we get on out of here?
No.
All right. Keeping that streak alive. Also, by the time we come on air next week, we will have passed our 16th anniversary
Yeah.
in
Wow.
podcasting. 17 years. We're almost at,
One more year from a legal adult. Yeah.
yeah, we're almost able to vote. Yikes.
God.
I know.
Football Smack Talk Show at the ballot box.
All right, folks. Well, have a great rest of your week. Only a few more days until we get to talk about free agency. So stay warm. Next week's going to be beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, right?
So spring is almost here. Spring,
Thank God.
daylight
Yeah.
savings time. So it'll be lighter out later. Everything's.
Yeah, I might open the blinds here and let the sun shine in my room. Yeah, it'll be great.
We're getting there, folks. So see you guys next week. So for the Football Smack Talk Show, I'm Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 190 days to go.
Later.